Alright guys, trying to ignore my hat here. It's scuffed right now, but it's day 28 and it's like 5 or 6 right now. I got done with work. I got like an extra hour and a half of work, which is nice because I didn't work at all, so my paycheck is gonna be weak as fuck this Wednesday. But who cares? I have back to my regular meal, so let me show you. Here's my 5 eggs, 84 grams of egg whites, my bread, turkey, bacon, cheese, and this yogurt bowl is devious today. It's like 300 ish grams of Greek yogurt and like almost like a whole thing of raspberries. But yeah, I'm about to eat this, and then I have an accounting quiz to finish, and then another quiz to finish, and then after that I'll read. And I don't know what I'm gonna eat second because my dad or someone made burgers, right? And my dad basically brought them, so I feel like it'd be rude to not eat them. But I don't know if I'll eat those for dinner or what. But yeah, I'll see y'all when I'm eating my second meal. And I don't know what I'm gonna, cause I'm not gonna make oatmeal today because there's no need. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just like make a video, talk about what I read, and just not eat anything after that. But yeah, I'll see y'all when I'm eating again. Goodbye. Okay, so I recorded my video for my last meal, but I recorded it the wrong way. So like how the camera's facing me, it was facing the other way. But anyways, I'll put like the frame that I got of my chicken right here. And then here's the macros for that meal. It was just chicken and rice. But I also talked about what I read, so let me talk about it. So chapter 17, basically there was no water for the Israelites to drink, and the Israelites were mad, and so they complained to Moses and they said, "Give us water to drink." And Moses replied to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test?" And then, because they're thirsty, they respond back saying, "Why then did you bring us out to Egypt to have us die of thirst with our children and our livestock?" Like they're asking him. And so Moses cries out to the Lord and he says, "What do I do with these people? A little more and they will stone me." So like they'll kill me, essentially, if I don't satisfy their needs. And the Lord answered Moses and said, "Go on ahead of the people and take along with you some of the elders of Israel, holding in your hand the staff which you struck the Nile. I will be standing there in front of you on the rock in Horeb. Strike the rock, and the water will flow from it for the people to drink." And so Moses did this in the sight of the elders of Israel, and the place was named Massah and Meribah, because the Israelites quarreled there and tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord in our midst or not?" So that's the first part of chapter 17, and the second part is the battle with Amalek. So it says, "Then Amalek came and waged war against Israel in Rephidim. So Moses said to Joshua, 'Choose some men for us, and tomorrow go out and engage Amalek in battle. I will be standing on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand.' And so Joshua does as Moses tells him. They start battling with Amalek. And while they're in battle, Moses, Aaron, and Hur climb, like Hur as an Hur, climb to the top of the hill. And it says, as long as Moses kept his hands raised up, Israel had the better of the fight. So if his hands were raised, Israel was winning. But when he let his hands rest, Amalek would start winning. And so Moses' hands, they grew tired from being held up, obviously. And so what's his name? Aaron and Hur basically saw this, and they took a rock, put it under Moses so he could sit on it. And then Aaron and Hur supported both of Moses' hands, like one on each side. So like one person was standing here, like say I'm Moses, one person was standing here supporting my hand, the other one was over here supporting this hand. And so his hands remained steady until sunset, and Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this down in a book as something to be remembered and recite it to Joshua. I will completely blot out the memory of Amalek from under the heavens." And so Moses built an altar there, which he named Yahweh Nisi, for he said, take up the banner of the Lord. The Lord has a war against Amalek through the ages." and Yahweh Nisi means the Lord is my banner. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 17. And so chapter 18, Moses meets with his father-in-law. If you remember, he was the priest of Midian. That because when Moses was younger, he got saved from the Pharaoh's hand, went to help the girls, or he protected the girls when they were like trying to water their flock, and then they went back, told their father about what happened. He was like, bring the guy here so we can eat with him, and then he gave Moses one of his daughters. A little recap. Okay, so his father-in-law, basically, they go meet Moses where he is. He lets Moses know that he's coming with his wife and his kids. So basically they get there. Moses like greets his father. You know, they greet each other. They go into Moses's tent, and then Moses tells his father-in-law about like everything that happened with the Pharaoh. Like, you know, all the plagues, how they pursued him, like everything basically that's taking place in Exodus. He tells his father-in-law. And so his father-in-law rejoices over all the goodness of the Lord, or all the goodness that the Lord has shown Israel in rescuing them from the power of the Egyptians. And he says, blessed be the Lord. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods, for he rescued the people from the power of the Egyptians when they were treated arrogantly. And so it says they burnt offerings and sacrifices for God, and Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to share with Moses' father-in-law in the meal before God. So they kind of just celebrated. So the second part of this chapter is the appointment of minor judges. So the next day Moses sat in judgment for the people while they stood around him from morning until evening. And so basically Moses' father-in-law questions him, and he's like, what are you doing, basically? Like, what is this business that you're conducting for the people? Why do you sit alone while all the people have to stand about you from morning till evening? And Moses tells his father-in-law, the people come to me to consult God. Whenever they have a disagreement, they come to me to have me settle the matter between them and make known to them God's statutes and instructions. So, you know, because, you know, we've seen the Israelites complain multiple times. Moses goes to the Lord and gives them the answer that the Lord obviously wants to be given. And Moses' father-in-law tells him, what you're doing isn't wise. So he's telling him what he's doing isn't smart. And he says, you will surely wear yourself out, both you and these people with you. The task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. And so he says, now listen to me, and I will give you some advice, and may God be with you. Act as the people's representative before God, and bring their disputes to God. Enlighten them in regard to the statutes and instructions, showing them how they are to conduct themselves and what they are to do. So he's basically saying, like, tell God to give you the instructions to tell these people how they should behave, so they don't have to ask you about every little thing, I guess. And he says, but you should also look among all of the people for able and God-fearing men, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and set them over the people as commanders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. Let these people render decisions for the people in all routine cases. Every important case they should refer to you, but every lesser case they can settle among themselves. Lighten your burden by letting them bear it with you. So that's low-key bars. Really good advice. And he says, if you do this and God so commands you, you will be able to stand the strain, and all these people too will go home content. And so Moses takes his father-in-law's advice, which is, you know, good for Moses, good character, shows that he's humble, even though he's done all these things. He's literally split the sea, essentially defeated Egypt through the power of God, but, you know, he doesn't have like this ego where he thinks that he knows best. So he takes his father-in-law's advice. He does as he says. He picks out able-bodied men from all of Israel, puts them in charge of people as the commanders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. And they render decisions for all people in routine cases. In the more difficult cases, they would bring to Moses so that he could then refer them to God. And Moses said farewell to his father-in-law, who went off to his own country. And that's how chapter 18 ends. So 2 pretty short chapters. Not too much action, really, except for the fight with Amalek. But I really like these chapters, honestly, especially chapter 18. I feel like Moses' father-in-law was spitting. But, yeah, I don't think I'm going to eat anything else today just because it's already about to be 10. But, I will eat, like, a lot tomorrow morning. Like, I'll just have my breakfast of champions, basically. But, I'll show the macros for today. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So I think tomorrow's day 29, but yeah, I finished both my quizzes. I got 100 on my accounting quiz and an 88 on my information systems quiz. But yeah, I feel like I have a lot of work this week. I'm gonna go watch the Demon Slayer movie tomorrow. That's fire. Pretty excited for that. Super excited for that. I rewatched the last episode. Dude, that cliffhanger was crazy. Or like, it is crazy. Like, obviously I knew what happened because I've already seen it before, but like just rewatching it just makes you want to see it so much more. But yeah, I'm excited to see Zenitsu. Oh my gosh, let me show y'all actually. I literally have a replica katana. It's Zenitsu's katana, bro. I love Zenitsu so much. Check this shit out. Sheesh. Anyways, yeah, so I know he's about to lock in, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's it for now. I gotta go shower, get in bed, and go to sleep. So if you're watching this, thank you very much. And yeah, subscribe if you want, like if you want, comment if you want. Today was a good day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 29. Yeah, 29. So goodbye.